I'll never forget the sound of metal twisting. One moment I was sitting in traffic on a wet London evening. The next, a delivery van skidded through a red light and slammed into the side of my car. In an instant, my world went black. When I came to, I was lying on the pavement, rain pouring down on my face, headlights flashing all around me. My hands were trembling. My mind felt empty. It wasn't the pain that scared me, it was the silence inside my head. And for the first time in my life, I realised how fragile everything really was. Up until that moment, I'd been running non-stop, chasing success, chasing money, chasing some version of myself I thought would finally be enough. But as I lay there, staring up at the storm clouds, I couldn't help thinking, what's the point of any of this? That night was the breaking point, because as strange as it sounds, that crash didn't destroy my life. It opened a door. It led me to something I'd never believed in before, something that would soon make me question everything I thought I knew about reality, success, and manifestation. Have you ever wondered what truly creates wealth, abundance, and prosperity in your life? Is it luck, hard work, knowing the right people? Or is there something deeper, something already within you, quietly waiting to be activated? I used to believe success came only from endless effort, long hours, pressure, sacrifice. But what if the real secret to attracting everything you desire isn't about doing more, but about flipping a switch inside your own mind? A switch that aligns you with the energy of abundance, where opportunities, money and success start finding you instead of you chasing them. I didn't believe that was possible until life forced me to see otherwise. Because after that crash, when I thought I'd lost everything, I met someone who helped me uncover a power I didn't even know existed. A power that's been inside me and inside you all along. And once that mental switch was turned on, everything changed. My finances, my relationships, my confidence, all began to shift in ways I couldn't logically explain. Now, I know this might sound unbelievable right now. I was skeptical too. But over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the truth about that hidden switch and how, once you activate it, you can manifest wealth, happiness, and abundance faster than you ever imagined. But before I reveal what this shocking secret is, please do allow me to introduce myself. Hi, my name's Michael Jones, and while today I live a life I once could only dream of, it certainly hasn't always been this way. For most of my adult life, I did what I thought you were supposed to do. Work hard, keep your head down, stay grateful for whatever you've got. I grew up just inside Manchester in the UK, in an ordinary family where money was tight, but laughter was free. My parents drilled into me that success was about stability. Get yourself a proper job, son, so that's exactly what I tried to do. After school, I went straight into office work. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. I'd wake up early, sit in traffic, grind through the day, and tell myself I was doing the right thing. But deep down, I always had this gnawing feeling that life was meant to be more than bills, deadlines, and 2 weeks of holiday a year. When I met Emma, everything felt lighter. We got married young, scraped together a deposit for a small flat in London, and talked for hours about the future, all the places we'd see, the things we'd build, the freedom we'd one day have. But somewhere along the way, the dreams started to fade behind responsibility. Rent, car payments, rising prices, it never stopped. I took on side work just to stay afloat, telling myself it was temporary. Yet every month there was always just a little less left over. Still, I kept pushing, believing that if I just worked harder, it would all fall into place. But the pressure kept building, quietly at first, a missed payment here, a late bill there. Then one month the rent went up. The following month my hours were cut back. Before long I was borrowing just to keep the lights on. I told Emma everything was fine, that it was just a rough patch, but deep down I was terrified. Each morning I'd put on a brave face, get dressed for work, and tell myself that this time I'd find a way to fix it. But by evening I'd be staring at the same numbers, the same bank balance, wondering how we'd make it through another month. The hardest part wasn't the money though, it was the feeling of failure. That quiet shame that creeps in when you know you're letting down the people you love. I started to lose sleep. Meals turned into snacks eaten over spreadsheets. I stopped calling friends. Even on weekends, my mind wouldn't stop racing, calculating, worrying, replaying every decision I'd ever made. Then came the day it all caught up with me. It was a cold Tuesday evening in November. I stayed late at work, trying to make sense of yet another financial report, my head pounding, my chest tight. When I finally got into my car, the rain was coming down in sheets, the kind of rain that makes the city glow under the streetlights. I remember gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white, thinking about the rent due on Friday and how I had no idea how I was going to pay it. That's when it happened. I was sitting at the red light, staring blankly through the windscreen, when I saw headlights in the corner of my eye. The delivery van, sliding out of control. There was no time to react, just the screech of tyres and the sound of metal twisting. In an instant, everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was on the pavement. The world around me blurred, sirens shouting, the cold sting of rain on my skin. But above all the chaos, one thought echoed louder than anything else. How did my life end up like this? What I didn't know then was that this moment, the darkest of my life, would become the doorway to everything I'd ever wanted. I don't remember much of the ambulance ride, just the smell of rain and petrol and a blur of voices asking me questions I couldn't answer. They said I was lucky, that if the impact had been a few inches closer, I might not be here at all. But for weeks after the crash, I didn't feel lucky. I felt hollow. It was as if something inside me had switched off completely. Physically, I recovered quickly, but mentally, I was somewhere else, detached from everything around me. Work didn't matter, bills didn't matter, even the things I used to care about barely registered. It was as though life had gone grey. One evening, a few weeks later, I found myself walking aimlessly through London, long after I should have been home. The city felt cold and distant, people rushing past, faces lit by their phones, everyone trapped in their own little worlds. That's when I met him. He was standing outside a quiet cafe near Holborn, middle-aged, calm, the kind of man who seemed oddly at peace despite the chaos around him. As I passed by, he caught my eye and smiled, not in a strange way, but as if he somehow recognised me. "Rough day?" he asked. I don't know why, but I stopped. Something about his presence made me want to talk. Within minutes, I was telling him everything, the crash, the stress, the feeling that I was stuck in a life that didn't fit anymore. He listened carefully, then said something I'll never forget. "You know, it's not your life that's stuck, Michael. It's your mind. You're still running an old program, and until that changes, nothing else will." He went on to explain that the subconscious mind controls almost everything we experience, what we attract, how we feel, even what opportunities show up. And that inside everyone, there's a kind of mental switch that determines what reality we tune into. At first I thought he was joking, but then he offered to show me what he meant. He told me his name was Aaron Surtees. At first it didn't register. I'd never heard of him before. But there was something about the way he spoke, calm, measured, almost magnetic. He explained that he was a hypnotherapist based in London and that he helped people unlock the parts of their minds that were holding them back. "I don't believe in coincidence, Michael," he said with a small smile. "Sometimes the universe has a way of putting people in front of us exactly when we're ready to change." For a moment I just stared at him, half expecting him to laugh. But he didn't. He meant every word. And even though a part of me thought this was crazy, another part, the quiet, desperate part that was tired of struggling, wanted to hear more. So when he suggested we grab a coffee at a small cafe across the street, I said yes. We found a quiet corner, and as the rain continued to fall outside, he began to talk. Not like a salesman or a guru, but like someone explaining something as simple as how to breathe. He told me that everything we experience in life, our successes, failures, relationships, even our financial situations, is a direct reflection of the programs running inside our subconscious minds. 95% of what we do, think and attract, he said, come from not conscious choice, but from subconscious conditioning. The problem is most people are running programs they never choose, programs built on fear, scarcity and limitation. I leaned forward, fascinated despite myself. Aaron continued, within every human being there are 10 mental switches. Think of them as control panels for different areas of life: love, health, confidence, success, creativity, purpose. But here's the thing, almost everyone on this planet only ever activates 9 of them. He paused to let that sink in. The 10th switch, he said quietly, is what I call the wealth switch. It's the one responsible for aligning your energy with abundance, opportunity and flow. When it's turned on, you stop chasing things. They start coming to you. you attract wealth, success, and harmony naturally, almost effortlessly. I remember shaking my head. But how could that possibly work? You're saying there's literally a switch for wealth inside my mind. Aaron smiled knowingly. Not a switch you can see, he said, but one you can feel. Neuroscientists have found that when a person enters a state of hypnosis, true hypnosis, not stage tricks, brain activity actually changes. The parts of the brain that handle stress and self-doubt quiet down, and the areas linked to vision, motivation and confidence light up. In that moment, the brain becomes reprogrammable. You can rewrite the subconscious code that defines your life. He went on to explain that most people's wealth switch is buried under what he called mind fog, a thick cloud of low-frequency thoughts, beliefs and emotions. When your vibration is low, he said, you attract low-frequency outcomes, struggle, debt, anxiety, scarcity. But when you raise that vibration, when you awaken the 10th switch, you begin to magnetize everything you've ever wanted. Opportunities, money, even people who can help you reach your goals seem to appear out of nowhere. It sounded impossible, but the strange thing was, as he spoke, something inside me stirred. For the first time in years, I felt hope. Aaron told me he had spent decades helping people all over the world reprogram their subconscious minds, helping them quit smoking, find love, conquer fears. But his true speciality, he said, was wealth manifestation. Through a deep hypnotic process, he had learned how to activate that 10th switch in the mind, the one that awakens a person's natural wealth magnet. When that switch is on, Aaron said, money stops being something you chase. It becomes something that can flow towards you freely, easily, naturally. You can see coincidences that aren't coincidences. The right ideas, people, and opportunities can appear, and they can keep appearing. I sat there in silence, the sound of rain against the window fading into the background. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about what I owed or what I'd lost. I was thinking about what might be possible. Finally, I asked him, do you really believe this can work for someone like me? Aaron smiled again, that calm, grounded smile. I don't just believe it, he said. I've seen it. And if you're ready, I can show you exactly how to turn it on. After our long chat in the coffee shop, I agreed to let Aaron work his magic on me. Something about him just felt trustworthy, grounded. Later that night, I Googled him, and my jaw practically hit the floor. Turns out Aaron is one of the world's most sought-after hypnotists, regularly featured on BBC, Sky News, and in major newspapers and magazines for his groundbreaking methods. His client list reads like a who's who of A-list celebrities, billionaire entrepreneurs, and even a few Middle Eastern sheikhs, all coming to him for one reason: results that defy belief. So the next morning I met him in his London office. It was nothing like I'd imagined. No incense, no gimmicks, just a bright, peaceful space overlooking the city. Aaron asked me to take a seat in a comfortable chair, close my eyes and simply breathe. This isn't magic, he said softly, it's alignment. As he began to speak, his voice was calm and even, carrying a rhythm that seemed to bypass my thoughts and sink straight into my body. Within minutes, my breathing slowed, my mind quieted. I felt lighter, as if the noise of years of worry had been turned down to a whisper. Aaron guided me deeper, layer by layer, until I reached a state of still, focused awareness. You're safe, he said gently, and as you listen to my voice, your mind begins to release what no longer serves you, the doubts, the fears, the beliefs that say you're not enough. I could almost feel those words working. It was as if invisible threads of tension were unravelling inside me. Aaron explained that every thought we have carries a vibration, and most people, through years of stress, disappointment and self-doubt, end up vibrating at a low frequency. At that level, he said, you repel what you want. The current of abundance flows past you. He paused, then added, but when we raise that vibration, your energy begins to sync with wealth, success and opportunity. It's not about wishing, it's about resonance. Nikola Tesla's words echoed in my mind. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. As Aaron continued speaking, I felt waves of warmth spread through my body, from the base of my spine to the top of my head. It wasn't imagination, it was as though something dormant inside me was stirring for the first time. Aaron explained that within every human being, 10 mind switches are constantly shaping reality, each governing a different part of life. For most people, 9 of those switches operate automatically, but the 10th remains dormant, buried beneath years of low vibration. He told me that even those who appear successful, the millionaires and moguls, are often running on partial power, their energy directed through the other switches, ambition, drive, determination, but the 10th switch, that one changes everything. When that final switch activates, he whispered, it's like connecting to a higher current. Wealth and abundance no longer come through struggle, they flow through alignment. You don't chase the outcome, you attract it. I remember a flash of light behind my eyelids, soft, pulsing, like sunlight breaking through fog. My whole body vibrated. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or awake, but I knew something had shifted. For the first time in my life, I felt utterly weightless, clear, powerful, alive. Aaron's voice faded into silence. You've just turned it on, he said quietly, your 10th switch. When I opened my eyes, the room looked brighter. The air itself seemed charged. And deep inside I knew something fundamental had changed, as if the gears of the universe had finally started turning in my favour. 2 days passed, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something inside me had shifted. The world looked the same, grey skies, honking cars, people rushing past. But it all felt different, as though a hidden current had started flowing beneath everything I saw. That morning I got a message from Aaron. Meet me where we first had coffee. When I arrived, he was already there, sipping his tea, calm as ever. He smiled as I sat down. How have you been feeling, he asked. Strange, I admitted. It's like everything's sharper, sounds, colours, even my thoughts. He nodded. Good. That's the shift settling in, but there's one final step, something that will anchor the change. He paused for a moment, watching the steam rise from his cup. I'm going to give you something, he said quietly. Not an object, a word. He leaned in closer. It's what I call a frequency word. During our session, your subconscious locked onto a specific vibrational pattern, the energetic code of abundance. I've translated that pattern into sound. One word that carries the exact same frequency your mind now recognizes as wealth. He wrote it down on a napkin in neat, deliberate handwriting. Your word, he said, sliding it across to me, is Solara. He explained that this word acted like a mental trigger, a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. Each time you repeat it slowly in your head, he said, your brain returns to that high frequency state. It's like pressing the button that reactivates your 10th switch. He told me to use it just before sleep or when I felt doubt creeping back in. Whisper it, he said, and your energy will begin to rise again. The subconscious doesn't need to understand the meaning, it only needs to recognise the frequency. I remember tracing the letters with my fingertip, feeling a strange warmth in my chest. That single word, it felt alive, and very soon I discovered just how powerful it really was. Over the next few days, I did exactly what Aaron told me to do. Each night before sleep, I'd close my eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper that single word into my mind, Solara. It felt calming, almost cleansing, like tuning myself to a gentler rhythm. At first I noticed tiny things, a neighbour offering to pay me back money I'd long forgotten, a small lottery win, free coffees, unexpected kindness. But soon the ripples grew into waves. On the 4th morning I opened an email from an old insurance provider. Apparently they'd been conducting an internal audit and discovered a payout I'd never received from a policy I'd cancelled years ago. The figure stopped me cold. £19,450. That's over $25,000. I had to read it 3 times before it sank in. It wasn't a scam, it was real. The transfer landed in my account within days. I remember staring at the balance, trembling, not from disbelief, but from an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Somehow, money had come to me without struggle. And the strangest thing, that same week, another door opened. A man I'd once helped years ago, just a casual acquaintance from my old job, reached out completely out of the blue. He started a small online business that had grown faster than expected, and he needed someone trustworthy to manage part of it remotely. It's not hard work, he told me, just keep things organised, the pay's generous, and you can do it from home. I hadn't been looking for work, but when he mentioned the monthly payment, My heart skipped a beat. It was enough to live comfortably, more than comfortably. A few days later, as if the universe wanted to make its point, another surprise arrived. My bank called to confirm that a dormant premium savings bond I bought over a decade ago had just hit a major prize draw, winning me over $30,000. I laughed out loud when they told me. It didn't feel like luck anymore. It felt like alignment, like the world had finally started to flow in my direction. That night, as I sat with a cup of tea and looked out over the London skyline, a quiet certainty washed over me. The old tension, that feeling of chasing, of never having enough, was gone. It was as though some hidden mechanism inside me had finally clicked into place. I whispered the word again softly, Solara, and for the first time in my life, I didn't worry about what would happen next. I knew with absolute clarity that everything I needed was already on the way. A few weeks later, I met Aaron again at the same cafe where it had all begun. The rain was falling just like before, but this time everything felt different. The air seemed lighter, even the city noise had a rhythm to it, as if the world itself was quietly humming along to some unseen frequency. Aaron looked up from his cup and smiled as I approached. "You look different," he said. "I feel different," I told him. "It's like everything's fallen into place. Money, opportunities, even my mood. It's all changed." "But what's really happening? What is this?" He nodded, almost as if he'd been waiting for that question. "You've aligned yourself," he said. "When we activated your 10th switch, your subconscious tuned into what I call the Solara frequency, the highest natural vibration of abundance." I asked him why he'd chosen that word. Solara, he said, comes from the Latin sol, meaning sun. It represents illumination, light entering darkness. When you speak the word, it carries the same vibrational resonance as your subconscious state during deep hypnosis. It reminds your mind that you already are abundant. The word doesn't create wealth, it connects you to the source of it. He explained that what had happened to me wasn't random at all. Once your vibration rises to match the frequency of abundance, he said, the world begins rearranging itself around you. Money, opportunities, relationships, they're all just reflections of the frequency you are broadcasting. You simply become magnetic to what you once chased. I sat back stunned. It's real, isn't it? Aaron smiled. As real as gravity. Most people just don't know the switch exists, but now that you do, you'll never return to scarcity. We talked for nearly an hour. I told him about the insurance payout, the business offer, the savings bond. He just listened quietly, nodding. That's how it begins, he said. But the beauty of Solara is that it's repeatable. Anyone can access it. Once the subconscious knows the frequency, it will always find its way back. Then he looked at me with a spark of purpose. "Michael, I think it's time we shared this." I hesitated. Shared it? How? He leaned forward. "We can't bring everyone into this cafe, but we can guide them the same way I guided you, through sound. I've recorded a short audio session using the same hypnotic patterns we used that day. The frequencies are embedded into the recording. All anyone needs to do is listen and repeat the Solara word. Their subconscious will do the rest." I felt a shiver run through me. "You mean anyone could activate their own switch?" He smiled. "Exactly. But let's start small. Share it with a few people you trust, family, close friends, and see what happens." So that night I sent the audio to 3 people closest to me. My sister, my best friend Daniel, and my old neighbour Claire. I told them nothing more than, listen to this tonight before you sleep and repeat the word I'll send you. Just trust me. The results were almost immediate. My sister called me in tears just 3 days later. She'd been battling debt for years, juggling bills since her divorce. Out of nowhere, she received a letter from a bank saying her mortgage protection claim from years ago had been processed and she was due a refund of over $20,000. She said, "I don't know what's happening, Michael, but it feels like the world suddenly wants to help me." Then Daniel messaged me a few days later, sounding shaken but thrilled. He'd been stuck in a legal dispute over an unpaid commission from an old client, money he'd written off ages ago. The client suddenly reached out, apologised, and transferred the full 5-figure amount he owed, plus interest. "It's insane," Daniel said. "It's like the universe just flipped a switch." And then there was Claire. She'd been retired for nearly a decade and living off a small pension, always worried about running out of money. A week after listening to the audio, she got a letter from an old employer's pension scheme, one she'd forgotten existed. They'd recalculated her entitlement, and she was due a lump sum worth almost $40,000. One by one, they each told me the same thing. They didn't feel lucky, they felt different, calmer, lighter, as if something had cleared inside them, making space for good things to find their way in. That's when I realised this wasn't luck, it was a formula, one that worked every single time. And together, Aaron and I decided it was time to share it with the world. So today, I'm beyond excited to finally share what changed everything for me. It's called the Solara Switch. This is the very same audio session Aaron created, the one that helped me, my sister, my friends, all of us unlock that hidden 10th switch inside the mind. It's not theory and it's not wishful thinking. It's the real process that awakened what Aaron called the Solara frequency, the natural vibration of abundance. And here's the extraordinary part. It takes only 12 minutes. You don't need to meditate for hours, visualize checks in the post, or repeat endless affirmations. You simply listen, let the hypnotic frequencies guide your subconscious, and allow that 10th switch to activate, the one that aligns your energy with wealth, opportunity, and flow. While the world continues to hustle harder than ever, chasing money and running on empty, you can simply put on a pair of headphones, close your eyes, and let your subconscious do the work. No strain, no effort, just pure alignment. I know what it's like to feel trapped, to work yourself to the bone and still watch the bills pile up. I know that quiet panic that keeps you awake at night, wondering how you'll make it through another month. But what if it's not your fault? What if your mind has simply never been tuned to the right frequency? That's exactly what the Solara Switch does. It clears the static, dissolves the scarcity programming, and retunes your subconscious to abundance. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme or some impossible promise. It's a doorway that's already changed my life and the lives of everyone I've shared it with. So if you're ready to experience the freedom that comes when wealth begins to find you, instead of you chasing it, then I invite you to take that first same step that I did. It takes just 12 minutes. The Solara Switch has already changed the lives of countless people around the world, and now it could do the same for you. Like Eleanor from Boston, Massachusetts, who shared, "A few days after I started listening, I received an email from a company I'd freelanced for years ago. Apparently they'd been trying to track me down to pay an old invoice that was never processed for over $21,000. I honestly thought it was a scam until the payment landed in my account. It felt like money had just found me." Or David from Leeds, UK, who said, "I wasn't looking for a miracle, I just wanted some peace of mind. But a week after I started listening, my old boss called out of the blue. He started a new company and offered me a consultancy role, just a few hours a week. The pay? Nearly what I used to make full time. It felt like abundance found me for once, not the other way around." And Vanessa from Miami, Florida, who told us, "I'd been living off credit cards, stressed every day about how to make ends meet. After I listened to the Solara Switch track, I received a message from a distant relative's lawyer. Apparently, I'd been left a small inheritance I never knew existed. It was $34,500, and it cleared every single debt I had. I can't describe the relief. It feels like I finally stepped into the life that was waiting for me all along." And now it's your turn, because today, for the very first time, you have the chance to experience the exact same hypnotic session that changed my life, the same one Aaron used to activate what he calls the 10th mind switch, the wealth frequency that lies dormant within almost every human being on earth. We've taken that powerful session, the very one I experienced in his London office, and transformed it into a simple, effortless, 12-minute audio track that you can listen to from the comfort of your own home. All you have to do is find a quiet space, close your eyes, and press play. As you relax and allow Aaron's calm, rhythmic voice to guide you, you'll feel your mind begin to slow, your breathing deepen, and a gentle warmth spread through your body. That's the moment your subconscious starts to open, the moment your inner frequency begins to rise. And as you reach the end of the session, you'll hear a single word, a word that holds the vibration of abundance itself: Solara. That's your personal activation word. Aaron explained it by repeating this word at moments of calm, when you wake, before you sleep, or whenever you want to reconnect. You'll keep that 10th switch fully alive and glowing. You won't need to meditate for hours, visualize complex symbols, or chant affirmations. You simply listen to the track once and occasionally repeat your activation word. That's it. When your 10th switch, your wealth frequency, is activated, life begins to flow differently. Money, opportunities, and good fortune start to move towards you instead of away from you. You might notice unexpected credits to your account, forgotten refunds, or large windfalls that seem to appear out of nowhere. Or perhaps, like so many others, you'll see long-term shifts, a new stream of income, a fortunate connection, a solution that finally releases you from financial strain. Once the 10th switch is turned on, it doesn't just bring money, it brings freedom. The kind of freedom that lets you live without anxiety, without limits, without wondering if things will ever get better. But I must warn you, this page and this video won't be available forever. Aaron doesn't advertise his work publicly, and he's been very clear that the Solaris switch needs to stay under the radar. It's meant only for those who are truly ready, those who feel deep down that the timing of this moment is no coincidence. So if you're here now listening to this, it's likely the universe has guided you, just as it guided me that rainy night in London. The truth is, you cannot put a price on transformation. How can you measure the value of financial freedom, of peace of mind, of knowing that abundance flows through you instead of away from you? Aaron told me once, if I could, I'd give it to everyone. And that's why, for now, he's chosen to make the Solaris switch available for a tiny fraction of what a private hypnosis session with him would cost. Normally, a single session in his London office would cost hundreds of dollars, and that's if you're even able to get an appointment. But today, through this page, you won't pay anywhere near that, because Aaron's mission is simple: to awaken as many people as possible to the wealth and abundance that's already inside them. So, for a limited time, you can access the full Solaris Switch audio for the small, one-time price shown just below this video. But please, if you feel that pull, don't wait. Once this page comes down, it may be gone for good. Right now, you stand at the same doorway I once stood before, the moment everything began to change. Take a deep breath, trust what you feel, and when you're ready, click below to activate your own Solaris switch today. All you have to do is click the button below this video and your transformation can begin. Right now is your moment to act, to rise above limitation and open the door to the abundant, effortless life that has always been waiting for you. But if you still feel a flicker of hesitation, allow me to calm your mind. Because when you activate the Solaris switch today, your purchase is fully protected by a 60-day satisfaction guarantee. That means you can experience the entire process, feel the shift, and begin to witness your manifestations unfold completely risk-free. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. And when you start seeing those unexpected moments of abundance, when extra money begins to flow, when opportunities appear out of nowhere, when you finally feel that deep, calm certainty that everything is working in your favour, you'll look back on this decision with gratitude. You'll thank yourself and the universe for taking this simple yet powerful step today. It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've struggled, or what your past looks like. What matters is what you do right now. The choice to awaken your 10th mind switch and let the current of abundance finally flow freely through your life. In front of you lie two paths. To your left, the familiar one, the path of uncertainty, effort and worry. The one where money always seems just out of reach and life feels like an endless uphill climb. To your right, a new path. The path of ease, alignment and flow. The path where you attract rather than chase. Where wealth, love and opportunity come to you naturally because your inner frequency finally matches the life you've always dreamed of. Now is your moment to choose, because once you take that first step, once you activate your Solaris switch, there is no going back to the struggle, only forward to a life of true freedom and abundance. And the best part, you can begin immediately. As soon as you accept this invitation, you'll receive instant digital access to the Solaris Switch audio track. No shipping, no waiting. Just a simple download ready for you to press play, close your eyes, and begin activating the most powerful switch in your mind. The same one that changed my life and the lives of countless others across the world. And that's not all you'll receive when you secure your copy of the Solaris Switch today, because Aaron has agreed to include 3 powerful bonus audios completely free to accelerate your results and help you stay aligned with the vibration of wealth and abundance. Bonus number 1, the frequency cleanse. Before you can receive, you must make space. In this short but powerful session, Aaron will guide you through a hypnotic energy clearing designed to dissolve old financial blocks and remove the lingering doubts, guilt, or scarcity patterns that keep your vibration low. You'll feel lighter, calmer, and more open to the flow of abundance. This is a value of $97. Bonus number 2, the Abundance Amplifier. This second audio builds upon your Solar activation by expanding your wealth frequency to a higher level. Through a series of layered hypnotic cues and sound frequencies, Aaron helps your subconscious mind magnetize opportunities and align you with the energy of effortless prosperity. Many listeners describe this as the moment they begin to see signs, synchronicities, and coincidences that confirm the universe is responding. This is valued at $147. Bonus number 3, the Prosperity Shield. Even when your 10th switch is active, daily stress and negative energy from others can lower your vibration. That's why Aaron created the Prosperity Shield, a powerful hypnotic visualization that reinforces your energetic boundaries, keeping your wealth frequency strong and unshakable no matter what's happening around you. Use it whenever you feel drained or off balance, and you'll instantly feel your inner power return. This one is valued at $197. That's a total value of $441, yours absolutely free when you order the Solaris Switch today. Just click the purchase button below this video and all 3 transformational bonus audios will be included instantly with your Solaris Switch session. Together, they form a complete system, cleansing your past, amplifying your frequency, and protecting your energy so that you can finally live in complete alignment with wealth, freedom, and flow. Once you've joined, you'll be able to download the Solaris Switch, the 12-minute hypnotic activation track, directly to your phone, tablet, or computer. When you're alone in a calm, comfortable space, simply press play and allow Aaron's voice to guide you. As you relax, your subconscious mind will begin to respond. The 10th wealth switch within your mind will start to awaken, and your vibration will rise to align with the frequency of abundance. That's all it takes, just 12 short minutes, to begin reprogramming your mind for effortless wealth and flow. You don't need to study, meditate for hours, or learn complex manifesting rituals. The Solaris Switch does the work for you, quietly and powerfully, beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. And once you've completed your 12-minute session, you'll be given a simple one-word anchor, Solara, to repeat whenever you wish to recharge that frequency and strengthen your new elevated state. From that moment onward, everything around you can start to shift. Money, luck, and opportunity could begin to flow towards you with ease, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. For some people, it begins with unexpected deposits, surprise refunds, or forgotten investments suddenly paying out. For others, it's gifts, inheritances, or miraculous financial opportunities appearing seemingly from nowhere. Each path is different, but one thing remains the same. You will know when it happens. If you click away from this page, you may never again encounter an opportunity like this. Aaron's unique ability to channel and guide this hypnotic process must remain under the radar, and for that reason, this page could be removed at any time. That's why it's so important that you click the button below this video right now, while you still can, and allow Aaron to help you activate your Solaris Switch today. When that switch is fully active, you'll no longer feel trapped by limitation. Instead, you could attract wealth naturally, amounts of money that once felt impossible. And over time, those manifestations could build into life-changing abundance, new homes, dream travel, complete freedom. Within minutes, you can begin to tune your mind into your highest frequency, a level where money, love, and joy are drawn to you like metal to a magnet, and negativity simply cannot reach you. So go ahead, click the button below this video and place your order now. You're completely protected by our 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. and everything to gain. This decision may be one of the most important you ever make. You can choose to stay on the same path of uncertainty and struggle, or step forward onto a new path of wealth, clarity, and peace. You landed on this page for a reason. The universe has guided you here. It's time to answer the call. Click below to activate your Solaris switch right now and allow abundance, prosperity, and freedom to finally flow into your life.